Distinguished guests, friends from the industry, Assalamu alaikum, and a very good evening. I'll start with a couple of stories. The first was in 2005. I was attending a conference in Singapore, and there I met Mr. Jack Trout. Those of us who are in the branding space, we know that Mr. Jack Trout, along with Al Rees, developed the concept of positioning, which is at the core of brand development. So I asked him, Mr. Trout, that how can we, because at that point in time, and which is still a challenge for Bangladesh, how do we change the perception of Bangladesh? How do we change the image of Bangladesh? He thought back for a while, and then he responded saying, I've got a strategy. I was quite excited. Must be something very interesting and insightful. He said, you have to change the name of the country. And it was very sad, of course, but then you reflected back and you realize why an expert like him and many more have written of Bangladesh from very early stage, since its birth. Because Bangladesh, if you look at it, when it started, the journey has started off on a very challenging context. Extremely densely populated nation. We are the most densely populated nation of such large population. Poverty rate was very high. Education has been low, and ravaged by natural calamities over the years. So anyone it's very easy to write off a country like Bangladesh. But what a turnaround it has been over the last 50 years. When last year we basically ended up becoming one of the fastest growing nation in terms of GDP growth last year during pandemic. And that's been possible because of the tremendous level of passion, hard work of people across level, mostly from people whom we do not look up to much, the general population, the small entrepreneur, the farmer, the people who are really creating the economy at the bottom. Few years back, we had a speaker from New York, Mr. Brian Collins. He leads one of the leading design company of the world. After staying for a couple of days here, he was saying that, Sharif, your country has got such an amazing energy, and also it's so much of chaos. It is chaotic everywhere. But I would love to be in that chaotic place, in your airport, your roads and streets, because it always gives that tremendous level of energy. And he was saying that, I don't know how much you are able to convert that, but I think the challenge is how do you convert that energy for your country? And I think that's the background through which we are actually celebrating the 50 years. We know that we have got tremendous possibility ahead. We have got set a very ambitious vision to become a developed nation by 2041. And I personally feel it's very much possible. But when we look at the numbers, I think we look at those perspectives from a order context. All our life we have been taught to pursue order. All the structures, I mean, many brand managers are here. We are taught to focus on a process. Order is right now this room. Everything is perfect. Everyone is sitting quietly, very nicely, with a lot of respect. That's order. Bangladesh is nothing like that. Bangladesh is chaos. It is all about chaos everywhere. Buying a ticket, going to the train station, and finding that you don't have the seat is maybe the beginning of any of our journey. But what we don't miss out, and we hate that chaos. We feel that chaos is so bad. How can the country thrive on chaos? But what we don't realize, actually chaos gives us the possibility. Without chaos, imagination, new creations are never possible. It is chaos which gives us the energy to really create. And our job is to balance this, put two foot, one on order, one on chaos, and how do you maneuver this journey? And this is something I think collectively we didn't do well. And the next 50 years of journey, I think that's the first component that we need to sort of be good at. And why I say that we didn't do it well, look at our country branding campaign. We project all our nation branding campaigns are beautiful Bangladesh picture, the states we have put together. While Bangladesh is beautiful, there is no doubt about that. But how much have we captured the chaos of Bangladesh? Because when we do not capture the true reality and the soul of the country, we are giving a different perspective. And people actually would love the chaos, because this is something where things are happening. We are figuring things out that has no prescription. There is no format, and people are figuring out every day. So we feel that the next journey that Bangladesh has is about how do we embrace that chaos? How do we tell that story? How our brands embrace this story? Because the vision that we have to become a developed nation by 2041 by being an innovative country does not reflect an innovation from the lens of a developed nation that is being practiced all over the world. It is about embracing innovation from our own soul, from our own essence, our own true heart and soul, which is being reflected. And many of our brands and campaigns, I think we missed that. While in the last 13 years that we have been giving recognition, brands have made tremendous progress. Last year, most probably, we have overall top 10 brands, 6 brands were from Bangladesh, which was completely reversed when we started. So it shows how brands have embraced the fundamentals of brand management, brand practices, and made tremendous progress. But the next level of journey is going to be very different. It should be creating brands which has Bangladesh at its soul. And that brand should not just be successful in Bangladesh. It's time that those brands become successful all over the world. Because people are not interested in seeing a very powerful Bangladeshi brand which is almost like a multinational brand. That's not exciting. They're not interested in seeing that. They want to see something which is a Shanghai Tang of Bangladesh. And they want to see that soul, that essence. So we always feel that if a tourist destination should be, that come to maybe the most craziest country where things happen. No matter what, it will happen. And we will make it happen. And that's the soul of the country that we need to capture and present. That's one component. The second component was it was in 2007, the first brand forum seminar. So we had a speaker from Firmenich, the perfume company. So the gentleman was their chief trend officer. So what he does is he travels around the world, takes pictures, and basically studies what's going to happen. So he was in Bangladesh for 3 days. And after 3 days, he was showing me pictures, hundreds of pictures, and all were eyes. Eyes of Bangladeshi boys, girls, kids, grown-ups, and from different socio-economic group. And he was asking, do you see anything? I was like, they're just eyes. He said, but I have never seen eyes like that. If you look, the eyes do not expect anything. The eyes are happy in their own self. And that is something which is very unique, because he travels the world, he studies people, he studies trend, and he was saying that this is something you have. I don't know whether you can hold on to it, but you have something which no one has. I haven't seen anywhere. Now, that is the soul of the general people. So now the question I think we need to ask ourselves, have we captured that soul in our campaign, in our brand? Have we empowered them? Or has the narrative of the country is defined by us on the top? I think that's an area where we haven't done enough. So in the next 50 years journey, which the context we have to set in the next 3 to 5 years, because Bangladesh has got a 14-year window till our demographic dividend changes. And that's going to be a very, very complex timeline if we cannot shift and evolve in the next, within that time period. And in order to change that narrative, a huge role will be played by our brands. Because brands tomorrow cannot just pursue growth. Of course, you have to pursue growth. Growth, margin, profit it's like basic oxygen. We must have that. But that's not going to be enough. Tomorrow's consumers will be asking us, all the brand managers, all businesses, what have we done beyond just pursuing business? What have we done for community? What have we done for society, for Bangladesh? And we are standing here in an extremely unique position to have an impact for a nation in the most critical time of its existence. Because what we do in the next 3-5 years will set the tone for the next 50 years. So with that note, welcome all of you to the Best Brand Award. I hope when we go back, we come back in 2022 in a very different mindset and shape the next journey for Bangladesh. Enjoy the day. Assalamu alaikum.